Tampa and New Orleans, you got the legends. And the Buccaneers offense has been on an absolute roll of late, averaging just over 35 points and close to 500 yards over their last 5 games. However, against the Saints this year, it's been the opposite story, as you see. New Orleans held them to just 26 points total in their 2 meetings and just over 250 yards a game. So I can see this going one of 2 ways, Dominique. Those 5 games come since they had their bye. So maybe they self-scouted and figured some stuff out. Or maybe we could look at the competition that they've played, which has been less than outstanding, including in the playoff game last week, and sort of downplay that. What do you think the Buccaneers are looking at offensively this weekend?
Yeah, I think the Bucs have a big hill to climb offensively this weekend. Like, I lean more into the idea that they were playing against not great talent, then they figured it all out all of a sudden. Obviously, they have plenty of talented playmakers on that team. And obviously, any weekend they could potentially blow up, but they haven't done it against a top-tier opponent like the Saints, and I haven't seen anything that suggests to me that things are going to change. It's really important, I think, for them to get out to a good start. That's what really killed them in their last game against the Saints, is they were under it before the game started, and it allowed the Saints' defensive line to kind of get after Tom Brady. And I'm sure we all have heard ad nauseum that Tom Brady has stunk under pressure. But the one matchup that I think that we need to focus on is Gronk versus Jenkins on defense. Gronk is a guy that can get open quick, but when they've played against the Saints, Jenkins has pretty much bottled them up early in the game, and then it's gotten out of hand. So Gronk is going to have to find a way to get open, and I think Tom Brady is going to feel comfortable hitting him in those situations, and that potentially can open up the rest of the offense.
I like that thought. I also like the idea about them starting quickly, because Rex in particular has talked so much here about how effective they've been with play action. Well, if they get way behind and they can't run the ball, you don't get any of that. What do you think, D. Wood? The last time these teams played each other, it was 38-3 New Orleans. Why is this time going to be different?
Well, listen, a couple of things. Number one, that was back in November 8th. That's over 2 months ago. This team is a lot different than it was back then. The offensive line has improved dramatically. Brady has only been hit like 12 times, been sacked 12 times since that game. I mean, he's been, just sitting back in the pocket making things happen. Antonio Brown is a different element in this offense now that he's been more acclimated. So, listen, I think Brady is playing with a lot more confidence, and I get, what you guys are talking about as far as, the opponents, but I just think that this Tampa Bay offense is a different offense, has a lot more confidence than the last time they played New Orleans Saints back in over 2 months ago.
I'm inclined to agree with that. It should be pointed out the 5 teams that we're talking about, or the 5 games we're talking about, 2 of them were against Atlanta, then Minnesota, Detroit, and last week in the playoffs, Washington, who has a good defense but finished very good under 500. What do you think of this matchup that the Bucs and Brady got here?
I feel like the Saints take it as a point of pride to still be better than the Buccaneers, right? They were geared up for those 2 games this year, and they won them fairly easily. It's their division 4 years in a row. They don't love the idea of the Buccaneers throwing something together on the fly and all of a sudden being better than they are. And I think, fundamentally they're a bad matchup for Tampa, because I think their offense is built to stress Tampa's defense more than a lot of the others you were just running through. But to me, the key is what Damian Woody was talking about, which is the pass protection, right? Against Washington, a nasty defensive front and pass rush, it held up. Right, and Gronkowski has been asked to help with the pass protection more in recent weeks, which is maybe why his offensive numbers aren't the same. So they've got that a little bit figured out. So if they can do that, then I think they're in the game more than they were. But I still think, in the end, the Saints, we talk about Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees only has 1 Super Bowl, and this could be his last game if they lose. He turns 42 on Friday. Like, this could be it. So I think there's a lot of motivation there in New Orleans, even beyond just this is the playoffs.
For sure. I think the overwhelming expectation is this will be Brees' last run. Whether this, if they lose here, we'll see what winds up happening. So yes, legacy redefining for 2 different quarterbacks. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.